The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello, welcome to another edition of our program, CHW in Action. As always, CHW stands for Community Health Worker in Action because my name is Rafael Calderon, I am a community health worker, and I'm always in action to bring you, my community of Nashua, health education that can help anyone to live a healthier lifestyle. And I also like to point out that what I mean by a healthy lifestyle, I don't mean just not to be sick or just to manage a disease or an illness. I mean to live a full, happy life, right? When we eat well, when we exercise, when we manage our, let's say, I don't want to say diseases, that's a bad word. Let's say when we're sick. When we're sick and we need medication, if we can manage that medication appropriately, and on top of that, again, if we eat healthy, if we exercise on a regular basis, if we try to stay at peace, relaxed most of the time because we know that life happens, then that's how we live an ideal lifestyle according to my beliefs. So my goal in having this TV show is that I want to motivate, if possible, everyone in Nashua, and not just in Nashua, in New Hampshire, and anywhere where people can watch this TV show. I want to motivate every single body to live a healthier lifestyle. Because as a community health worker, I work in the community of Nashua, and I know that there are a lot of issues, a lot of chronic diseases that could have been prevented if people had the idea, if not the knowledge, to basically live a healthier lifestyle. And a lot of times people tell me, well, I just didn't know. I felt fine, so I kept eating the way I was eating. I kept not exercising on a regular basis. I didn't mind my medication. I took them whenever I felt that I needed them. And now, a few years later, look, I have this diabetes that has completely changed my life for the worse. I have this hypertension that is just stealing the life out of me, and so on and so forth. So I want to be useful to my community, and I want to convey the little knowledge that I have about living a healthy lifestyle, out of which, as I mentioned, is living as close to a stress-free life as possible. And to not be stressed out, to live a life that is free from stress, I mean to simply try to not get too deep into things that could have a solution. And instead of concentrating on the solution, we concentrate on the problems. And we make things much bigger than they need to be, because in my belief, any problem has a solution. Okay? So I'll give you an example on how I deal with my stress, how I try to minimize it, and hopefully by me conveying this to you, maybe we can be on the same page, and maybe we can have you can be as relaxed as I am and as happy as I am, so that you can be one more person in Nashua who's happier and more relaxed. Okay, so how do I deal with my stress? I try to remind myself that I can only do so much, and that there are always solutions to problems. So when something happens that causes me to become upset, and by upset I just mean that I get stressed out, not that I get angry or anything like that. I try never to get angry because that's just a waste of energy. Well, the thing is that last night there was a meeting at the City Hall where some legislation was supposed to be introduced or talked about regarding Nashua becoming a welcoming community, or at least Nashua being recognized as a welcoming community, as a welcoming city. I mean, I know and you know that Nashua is a welcoming community. We all know that Nashua is really a nice place to live in. And of course, it's not a perfect place. We have issues like any other city. But at the end of the day, Nashua, to me, is one of the best places to live in New Hampshire. Somehow there was a meeting to have this legislation passed, and I was not able to make it to the meeting. I have been, for the last few weeks, if not the last month, I've been trying to fit 2 full-time jobs into one job, and it has really taken a toll on me because I'm 45. I'm not 25 anymore. If I was 25, I can do it like that. or I could do it like that. But no, unfortunately, life passes, that that years amount up, and I guess I don't have the same level of energy that I used to have, and that's hard for me to believe. But anyways, enough about me. The point being is that for some reason, at the city hall at this meeting, the situation was presented, the legislation came forth, and from what I hear, from what I've read, about half of the aldermen or aldermen did not agree with the legislation. And the original proposal that was presented by our community leaders, I won't mention any names because I didn't tell anybody that I was going to talk about this. I just feel that I need to talk about it because we are a community of united people, and we talk about our problems and our issues, and we try to find solutions. So I'm expressing myself because I feel that I need to, and also to send a message to anyone in the community that we, well, I say we at the Nashua TV station, we're here to give people an opportunity to voice their opinions and to talk about anything that is bothering them. And I always say that my TV show, CHW in Action, it's always open to people in the community to come in and talk about any issues that they might want to talk about. And yes, I do ask that the issues have to be related with healthcare, something to do with healthcare. But it could be just like what I'm trying to say now. It could be just about managing stress so that we can be healthier. So we're open to for people to voice their opinions. And on that token, I respect everyone's opinions and points of views. I'm just simply saying that somehow half the aldermen or aldermen did not apparently support the legislation. I wasn't there, but I know that Mayor Donches must have presented the information very well. I love Mayor Donches. He's one of the coolest, best mayors that I've ever had the pleasure of interacting with. So, and I'm not just saying that because I'm just saying that because I have this YES program where I was teaching some kids, beautiful kids and amazing kids, how to create their ideal lifestyles. My thinking was if I can teach them at an early age how to prepare to have a better life, they will grow up to be successful, healthy adults and great community members. So one day, I actually bumped into Mayor Donches at an event, and I asked him, is it okay if the kids go to the city hall so they can learn how the city hall works? And he said, yeah, sure, of course. And then I mean, he's a mayor, so I'm thinking he said that just because he's trying to be nice, or he's been nice because he's a nice guy. But then when the day came, Kim from the city hall set it up, and the mayor actually took time to talk to these kids. And it wasn't just pretending to listen. He was actually having conversations with my kids. I call my kids from the YES program. He took time to listen, to give advice, to give his opinions, to offer guidance. He really listened. So to me, Mayor Donches is a really, really good mayor. He's a great mayor because I have seen him in action. And I'm not just saying that I'm sure he did well just because I want to, get brownie points. I'm saying it because I've seen the man in action and I support him. He's a great leader. So the thing is that despite the great mayor that we have, and despite all these excellent community leaders that were there, and despite some of the aldermen that, from what I hear, they got the point, some of the aldermen didn't get the point. And as a result, then I guess next week there's going to be a new legislation being put forth, and this new legislation is not going to be the original that was intended to emphasize or to point out that Nashua is a welcome community. So that troubled me, to be honest with you. It got me a little bit upset because I work in Nashua. I don't live in Nashua yet. I live in the beautiful city of Manchester, New Hampshire. But I work in Nashua. I have always worked in Nashua. I know how special this city is. I used to live here in Nashua back in the early 2000s. And then due to personal situations, I ended up moving to Manchester and so on and so forth. But the point being is that I've lived in Nashua. It is my goal to come back to Nashua when I can buy my own home, because that's one of my goals, right? I want to live in Nashua. I want to grow old in Nashua because Nashua is such a welcoming community. And so when this situation came up and I saw all these messages of disappointment, I just said, I have to say something. I want to use my TV show to be a vehicle to show those older men that didn't, I guess, agree with the rest of us, that see things that we didn't see. And by we, I mean as the community leaders that want to make this happen, and want Nashua to be recognized by a proper way of emphasizing how welcome the community is. So this TV show is usually about something medical that has to do with health. I actually have a nice guest that knows more than I do about something to do with health. But today I just want to point out and highlight that Nashua is a welcoming community, not just because it says welcome. I've lived in many cities. All cities have good people that say welcome. However, Nashua is one of those few cities that gives you an opportunity to grow. It gives you an opportunity to create a full life. And in fact, last Friday, I was honored to have been invited to Kyle and Amanda's Nashua Welcomes event. It was a really beautiful event, and I'm going to show you some footage of that event later on. In fact, this is a good time to tell you, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. This is going to be a long TV show because I want to send this message. The message that Nashua is a welcome community, that I am an example of that welcomeness, and why that legislation should pass as it was originally intended. And that is my opinion, of course. So I will show you footage from that event. It's going to be about 1 hour. So you'll see me talking a little bit here, but then I will go into that event just so that you can see so many community leaders coming together to emphasize what I'm trying to say to you. Okay. On that note, I'm wearing this blazer or this jacket, whatever you call it, with this little design here. It was made by Galina Sachs. Galina is a community leader that I love. She's an awesome lady, and I want to show my support for her beliefs and her way of seeing things. And in all those messages that I read regarding that, what happened last night, she was very adamant about saying that when you say love, you should basically put some action behind it. It's not enough to tell someone I love you. You have to show it. It's not enough for a community to say we welcome you. We have to take action to make those people feel welcomed. And that's what she's all about. She's a genius, very smart lady, very sweet lady. I have nothing but love for Adelina, and Adelina, that's why Galina. I see Adelina got into my head because she's another community leader that I love and respect. We're full with nice ladies and gentlemen who are very good community leaders. And I have the pleasure and the privilege to work with most of them. And to all those that I work with, I thank you for putting up with me. And to those that I don't work with, then maybe in the future we'll work together. We all live in the same community. We'll find ways to come together. So to come back to my original point is that this show is about me managing my stress because of the situation, because of what happened last night. Because to me, when Nacho says, we welcome you, I welcome you, it embraces you. Okay? And I want to share with you a quick note that I copied from an article I saw on Facebook today. I brought it here, and I'm going to read it to you because I have this thing, right, that everything I say to you in English, I think of it in Spanish because Spanish is my language. And the way that I learned how to speak English was by translating things in my mind. So when I'm talking, if I don't stay on point, my mind will go all over the place, and then I'll start to ramble. You might have noticed that already. So I want to read this to you because I want to emphasize the importance of having Nashua being recognized properly as a welcoming community. And this is what it says. Nashua is rated the 16th best place to live in America, according to Money Magazine. Residents say young families are moving back to Nashua, to the town. More businesses are springing up on the charming Main Street drag, and new housing developments coupled with a strong job market are re-energizing the once sleepy community. And then it says at the bottom here, it says at a glance, right? So at a glance, and then it gives some nice statistics. And that is why I wanted to read this from you word for word. I actually saw this is in the mayor's page, Mayor Donch's page, and I love that. It's awesome. I agree with it 100%. I think that Nashua is one of the best places to live in Nashua, and I'm a prime example of that because Nashua has given me an opportunity to be useful to my community. But I want to say that one other thing that has helped, in my opinion, of course, that have helped Nashua become 16th. Nashua used to be 93rd. I think it was the best places to live in Nashua, and then moved up to 16th. Back in the day, I believe it was in 1987 and 1997, Nashua was one of the best places. But I guess we went down the list for some reason. But the thing is that now we're number 16th. And yes, all the things that that article read are true. I'd like to point out that one of the reasons also why Nashua is bouncing back, as they say, it's a vibrant immigrant community. We have gotten a lot of new immigrants coming to Nashua to make it even better than it is. All the different cultures, all the different things that go on in Nashua, it's making Nashua greater, better. It's making us stronger, more united. I know that, like in that article says, at a glance. You see, it's at a glance. It's not by, in my opinion, it's not by someone who is down in the trenches. Someone who is out there walking in the community, talking to people, dealing with people. You see, there are a lot of us community leaders who are doing the work, and we know that Nashua is a great place, and we know that the city has challenges like any other city, but we also see people coming together. We also see the city rising up, and because the city rises up, it welcomes anyone that wants to come in and contribute and make the city greater. So yes, Nashua should be not just a 16th. To me, it should be, I don't know, in the number, I don't know, number 7, because I like number 7. 7 is my favorite number. Nashua should be the 7th best place to live in the United States of America, or in America, because we have such great people. And yes, of course we have problems. I'm not going to deny that. Okay, but every community has them. And what we have in Nashua, that I'm sure is also, I guess, manifested in other communities, is that we have leaders and people who want to join us and do things better. We have so many excellent people trying to do good things in Nashua. And so many of those people are immigrants. So many of those people have relocated to Nashua. Some, if not a lot of those people, are refugees that come to Nashua to work hard, to raise their family, to have a good life. And it affects me, let's put it that way, when I come across someone that doesn't understand, that doesn't appreciate the value of immigrants and refugees and different cultures and ethnicities in Nashua. And that is just my opinion. Don't take my word for it. Okay, go on Facebook and see how many amazing things are going on. Go into the Cultural Connections Committee Facebook page and look at all the beautiful and lively footage that you will see of events and activities that go on in the community of Nashua. And of course, there are many organizations that do many, many beautiful things that I'm not mentioning because I haven't spoken with them, I haven't gotten their permission. But what I'm trying to say to you is that, to me, Nashua deserves to be, that legislation deserves to be passed as it was originally intended, because Nashua is indeed a welcoming community, a welcoming city, and I already explained why. Okay, so with that said, I want to segue a little bit into the overall of things. I guess the overall of why we do all the things that we do here in Nashua. Okay, we all simply want Nashua to be a great place for people to live in, to have a full life. We want our children to have a future, to have an education, to stay in the community. We want to develop new leaders into Nashua so that we can create a Nashua of the future. And I should point out that I'm taking these words, the Nashua of the future, or for the future, or a future Nashua. I'm taking that from Paul Hibbert. Paul, to me, is one of the biggest leaders in the community. He's a great guy. I like to call him a cool guy, and he says, like, you're the only person that calls me cool. And I said, no, Paul, most people that I know think you're a cool guy. Okay? So we have people like Paul Hibbert, that does so much for the community. And I can use him because I like to quote him because he's such a great guy. But we also have great guys like Mike from the United Way, Liz from the United Way, Galina from One Great Nashua, Jen McCormack. I'm trying to think of all the names of all the good people that I know. There's so many that my wires crisscross sometimes. We have Adelina. We have Juan Marcos. We have, man, I wish I could think of everybody. We have Sharon Dalton. Okay, we have so many people that I'm trying to remember right now that are not coming to head. We have the whole mayor staff. I like the whole mayor staff. I like the mayor. I like Kim. I like Manny or Manuel. I like Ashley. Is that her name? The nice young lady. I haven't. Ali. It's Ali, I think. I haven't spoken to her in a while, so the name escapes me. I'm terrible with names, but I never forget a face. But anyways, the point being is that we have so many beautiful things going on in Nashua, and that's why the city is bouncing back, as they say. But I don't think that it's just because young families are moving back into town. That does help. That is a great thing. And I don't think it's just because businesses are expanding on Main Street. I don't think it's just that either. I think it has a lot to do with the great job that is done by the Chamber of Commerce, by Nashua Chamber of Commerce. And that reminds me to mention Tracy Hatch, another great leader. Okay, and Tracy knows Brandon, and Brandon works with Velocity Performance, who is a great leader, a great teacher. He taught me how to be a better leader, because I'm not afraid to lead. I'm not shy, but I do know that sometimes I'm a bit direct. I don't want to say blunt. And to be a leader, you have to be diplomatic at times. And he taught me how to do better through the leadership Greater Nashua, through LGN. So I'm just trying to throw out names of people that I admire. I'm trying to avoid names of organizations. So if I say that people are doing a great job, in my opinion, like Tom Lopez, like Cecilia Ulivari, like Manny Ramirez, like D-Rock, okay, like Jessica Ayala, like my mentor, Harvey Kai. I'm mentioning all these names that are my friends. I'm trying to avoid mentioning their organizations because I didn't ask for permission. So why am I mentioning all this? I'm mentioning all this because I'm hoping that one of those older men or eldermen that didn't agree with us 100%, that can maybe see what really happens or takes place in the community. Because if one thing I want to believe is that all older men, notice how I'm being careful to say that word properly, because I want this message to be positive. And in wanting this message to be positive, then my stress is leaving my body. I am feeling so much better right now just because I'm talking to you about this. And it comes back to the whole point, the holistic approach that I talk about, is that having an ideal lifestyle is about having a healthy lifestyle. And to be healthy, you have to be able to place yourself in a situation in which you're allowed, for lack of a better word, to express yourself. And that's what Nashua does. Nashua allows you to be who you are, who you want to be. And on top of that, Nashua supports you. And that is why Nashua is a welcoming city, and that's why the legislation, in my opinion, should be passed as it was intended, right? So I have mentioned all these leaders. I have said all these things to you, and in that I have made myself feel better. And that's what life is all about. You see, there's no need to concentrate on a problem. There's no need to concentrate so hardly on politics. We're all human beings trying to do good things. Let's get together and talk. When we talk things out, we feel better inside, just like I'm feeling better right now. So I want to thank you for listening to me. If you are listening up until now, I know I've been talking for a while. And usually I'm a visual guy. I like to have, things to show you, videos, guests, stuff like that. But to me, this is just too important that the whole community comes together around this thing of having this legislation of Nashua becoming a welcoming city, or being acknowledged as a welcoming city, because it is not just about signing a piece of paper. It's about embracing that Nashua gives opportunities to newcomers and supports long-time residents to be the best they can be, to live the best life that they can be. It really, what it comes down to is, I want Nashua to be embraced for what it truly is, a great thing. And again, let me emphasize that I'm aware that we have problems like any other city. And I'm aware that these problems need to be addressed. And we as a whole in the community, are trying to address them, okay? No one is ignoring any issues, any problems. Sometimes, unfortunately, things take time. But it's important that it's known that, from my point of view, things are being acknowledged. So there you have it. Those are my 2 cents on this situation from last night. Those are my 2 cents on why I feel that Nashua is such an amazing place, and I'm glad that it's on the 16th place of the best places to live in America. I think it should be number 7, if you ask me. And with that, I want to segue into Kyle and Amanda's natural welcomes event. It happened on Friday, this past Friday, at the Hunt Building. It had many leaders, many people from the community that are doing amazing things. I don't know why I was invited. I think that Kyle invited me because he's my classmate from LGN, Leadership Grade in Nashua. And I don't know, but I really think that all the people there have done so much more than I'm trying to do for the community. I felt so, I don't know, I felt honored to be speaking in the same lineup as the mayor, Mayor Donches, the chief of police, so many awesome, excellent community leaders. It was truly a blessing for me to be there. But more than a blessing for me, I think it was a blessing to the community to see so many people coming together to make Nashua and to emphasize and to embrace Nashua, New Hampshire, as a welcoming community. So I want to show you this video. It's going to take about an hour. So I'm hoping that you get some tea, some hot chocolate, some coffee, whatever you want to drink, and sit back and get your family around you. And if you're single and you have pets, then get your pets around you. But sit down and watch these people. Don't watch me because, as you can see, I have this lovely accent. And when I'm speaking with the mic close to me, it doesn't come out as clear as I would like it to be. That's why I love, Access Natural. They give me this nice little mic. And this nice little mic makes me feel more relaxed and I can speak more at ease. And hopefully I'm easier to understand. But the thing is that I want to share this event with you. I want to once again thank Kyle and Amanda for inviting me, for allowing me to speak in this event. It was a privilege for me to be there. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get the message that Nashua is a great place to live at. And if we all get into the community, if you all see all the things that are going on, we will all agree. You will agree with me. Nashua is great. We can make it greater. We have issues, but we are working on them. So let us concentrate on finding the solutions, not on the problems. And if we concentrate on the solutions, we will find them. And when we find those solutions, we will live at peace, stress-free, or as close to that as possible. We will be living a healthy lifestyle. And that's what I want from you. That's what I want for you. I want you to live a healthy lifestyle. And with that, I thank you so much for your time. I sincerely appreciate it. My name is Rafael Calderon. I'm your CHW. God bless you. Good night.
Program is provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.